Well, I think it's appropriate to have a pause, but the pause, I assume, won't be very long. Congress will return. The Senate is in session for the last 3 weeks, but with Memorial Day behind us, we're gone. Coming up, we'll be out of here for 2 or 3 days or a little bit longer. And it is time to figure out what's working and what's not working. But I think there's a general belief, at least by me and I think my colleagues, that something is still yet to be done. But we need to determine exactly what that is so that we're not wasting taxpayer dollars.
I mean, clearly, originally, Senator, we all hoped that the economic impact would be very brief. It doesn't look like it's going to be very brief and quite possibly will be prolonged. Does that mean, in the very least, that existing programs' terms need to be extended, even if it doesn't mean significant amount of extra dollars are added to the stimulus?
You know, we've done that. We've gone back a time or two and increased the amount of resources available for the programs. PPP is the one that comes to mind and is such a forefront of the small business community. But yes, I mean, those are the kinds of things that are easier. I think what's happened that causes the anxiety here is that the Democrat package that passed the House of Representatives last Friday is in many ways unrelated to COVID. And becomes a Democrat wish list, and it makes me nervous. We've had a lot of success in staying pretty bipartisan, and we've done that by keeping the bills focused on COVID and our response to the consequences of the virus. If this bill becomes the political wish list, or if that becomes the standard, and that no Democrat can vote for a bill that doesn't accomplish the things that are in the House bill, we're at real loggerheads on getting something more done. And I think there is a need, and ultimately there'll be a desire for something additional, at least fixing what we've already done and adding to the things that are working.
Well, what about state and local governments? Because that's something where it feels like it's not a Democratic wish list thing. I mean, you have Republican and Democratic governors of states saying that they have a very deep holes right now and they have to pay their workers. Why is that something that Republicans have been reluctant to talk about?
I don't think, at least I as a Republican, that's not my reluctance. And in fact, I think at the moment the conversation that's very valuable is, can we give greater flexibility to states and local units of government to spend the money that they've already been provided? I think in some circumstances that's really necessary. And depending upon the magnitude of the virus in your community or in your state, that plays differently across the country. So that's a place to start. And then I think that, the standard for me is that I don't want Kansas taxpayers to have to pay for years of mismanagement and overspending in other states while we've been pretty frugal and responsible in our spending patterns. But I am interested in trying to make certain that the things that are a result of COVID-19 are things that we still can try to help communities resolve. And we've been looking for ways to do that even more than the money that's been given to states or our largest counties, grants to local law enforcement, grants to public health departments, grants to hospitals. So I think there's still a role for us to play in trying to solve the problem. We need a better economy than what we had, what we've been having. And the key to that is healthy people and people who know they're healthy. And so continued investment in ways that cause people to be able to access the necessary tests, certainly the PPE, the protection equipment for healthcare providers and others is important. We need to do more in regard to making certain our food supply is safe and secure, and the people who work in that industry are safe and they know they are. So there's plenty to do to help grow the economy that are related to ways that we can help states and communities, as well as businesses and, most importantly, employees.